What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some college basketball coaches that might be on the hot seat. We've got a list of names here. I'm going to tell you whether I think they really are on the hot seat or I think they're not. So let's go ahead and see what names Bleacher Report has on here. First off, we've got some honorable mentions. Starting off, John Calipari. He's not going anywhere. I know it started kind of rocky in Arkansas at the beginning of this year, with even him saying some questionable stuff like, yeah, we didn't warm up today. We just showed up and they got the crap beat out of them. But they've kind of started trending things up as of late. And SEC play got a few wins under the belt, so I don't think he's going anywhere. Earl Grant, Boston College. So Boston College, not just a powerhouse by any means in college basketball. I could see him getting fired here. Like it says there, 120 games last season for the first time in more than a decade, but still didn't make the tournament. So, what are their real expectations? Do they want to give him some more time? I would probably give him another year or two, but we'll see. Fran McCaffery, Iowa. I don't see them making a change now. Even if they do miss this year, if they miss the tournament, that will be 2 seasons in a row. But, he's at least got Iowa fairly relevant as a basketball program. So I would give him another year. Now, if he goes 3 years in a row with missing the tournament, then you might have room for firing there. mcmahon, LSU. Now, LSU kind of, with what they had with Will Wade and then kind of all the issues they had after that, kind of iffy on what the expectations should even be at LSU. I'd probably give him another year as well. Penny Hardaway, Memphis. I don't see him being on the hot seat. He has Memphis pretty relevant. They bring in some solid recruits every year. They're at least going to be talked about. They're going to be a threat come NCAA tournament time. Like they're usually, as of late, kind of been an 8 seed that I wouldn't want to see as a 1 seed in the second round. So I don't see Penny Hardaway going anywhere. Ben Johnson, Minnesota. I could see that definitely being fired there because, like it says here, they've been nowhere close to making the big dance, when Ben Johnson's been there. So I don't see him probably coming back. Shaheen, Holloway, Seton Hall. I think you got to give him another year. I know things haven't gone quite as well as you would hope at Seton Hall, but with what he did at St. Peter's, I think you got to give him a little more room for ground there. Adrian, Autry, Syracuse. I think he might be gone. Syracuse is in the dumps right now, and you've got to keep that program relevant while you can. So I think you got to make a change. Craig Smith, Utah, haven't done very well there. I think he'll probably be gone. Ron Sanchez of Virginia. This one's kind of iffy because he was kind of in a no-win situation when Tony Bennett left right before the year. Kind of left him. He probably left for a reason. Let's put it that way, because his team was probably about to suck. So, do you give Sanchez another year? Do you open it up and just hire whoever? I'd probably open it up because you can probably get some interesting applicants at Virginia. All right, so let's look at the actual list here. Hubert Davis, North Carolina. This one I really don't know how to feel about because he has been so up and down in North Carolina. They'll have a year where they're really good, making a national championship run to the Natty, being a 1 or 2 seed, and then they'll go to in the dumps and missing the tournament like they are this year. They've been that in all 4 years. He's been have a good year, have a bad year, have a good year, have a bad year. So do you want to give it one more year, see if he can have a bounce back good year next season? Because they should be a lot better this season than they are. And I haven't been impressed with Hubert Davis, as a coach. Thought he kind of got lucky that first year in that tournament run with everybody they had. Now, they've got RJ Davis this year. I think they should be a little better than they are. Can they sneak in the tournament and cause some issues? We'll see. But as of right now, I don't think they're in. But we'll see if they keep him around. I think they'll keep him around for one more year. But if he's not like super excellent next year, I think he's gone. Johnny Dawkins, UCF, I think he's probably gone. Even though, he had success coming in from Stanford, I don't think they'll rehire him because they're kind of, with them moving to the Big 12, they're kind of probably a more warranted program now. They can probably get a better coach than they could have previously when being in the American. So I would open it up if I was UCF and see what you can find. Bobby Hurley, Arizona State. With him there, the ceiling has kind of been they get to the play-in game as an 11 seed. They might go on a run or something, but as far as ceiling seed-wise, it's probably going to be right around that play-in, last 4 in, that type of team. So I think he should probably open it up if I'm Arizona State. I'd probably get rid of him, bring in a new coach. Thad Matta, Butler, just hasn't worked at Butler. And Butler has historically can be a good program. You've seen that before with Brad Stevens. And Thad Matta, he was pretty good at Ohio State, but it just didn't happen in Butler. I'd probably bring in a new coach from them at Butler. Porter Moser, Oklahoma. This one's kind of iffy because they're really good outside of conference play, but when they get into conference play, like this year, they were a top 10 team, undefeated almost going. I think they were undefeated actually going into SEC play. Then the second they've gotten to the SEC play, they've just got dog walked. And Porter Moser, I liked what he did at Loyola Chicago. Had a couple pretty good runs there with their big guy, Cam Crutwig. Now at Oklahoma, it's been so at times, but it hasn't quite lived up to the hype as far as potential. Like this year going into SEC play, Oklahoma fans are thinking, yeah, we're probably gonna be a top 4 seed this year. Now you're just completely, maybe even out of the picture completely in terms of NCAA tournament play. But yeah, look at this right here: 46-8 in non-conference play, 23-41 against conference opponents. Yeah, just not very good. Cal Neptune, Villanova. I think it's time to make a change for Villanova. Jay Wright, they handed the reins to Cal Neptune after he left, and I think you've got to make a change here before you risk Villanova becoming on the brink of irrelevancy. I think you've got to capitalize while people still remember, yeah, Villanova was good a few years ago. I think you've got to open this thing up and bring in somebody because I think you can get some good guys to apply for this job. Villanova's, historically a good basketball school as of late with Jay Wright, so I think you can definitely make some noise if you get rid of Kyle Neptune because they just haven't been very good. Mike Woodson, Indiana, he's already gone, so this list was made before he got fired, I guess. Mike Young, Virginia Tech, haven't had great success. He had that 1 year a couple years ago where they were pretty good, kind of made some noise in the tournament. I think Texas might have beat them in the second round. They had some really good shooters, but since that, they really haven't done much. Let's see. Each of the past 2 seasons, 19 and 15. So, what can Virginia Tech shoot for in terms of hoping that they could fire him and hire somebody else? I don't really know what kind of guys you could pull. Being in the ACC, you could pull a pretty good high, mid-major guy to come apply for the job, I would think. But that's the list they've got here. What are some other names that you are coming to mind? For me, I'd say Rodney Terry at Texas. I think he probably gets fired after this year unless he really gets it turned around. But besides the guys listed on this on here, who do y'all think could get fired? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.